Hello and welcome to today's analysis. Today I'm discussing chain of succession in law, and I'm using the Herbert Wigwe family to do the illustration that I want to make, in today's analysis. Recall that the gentleman here, Herbert Wigwe, he died in a helicopter crash in the United States of America, I think 1 year ago, and sadly, he died along with his wife and his first son, leaving behind, I think, two female children, if I'm correct. Now, the question would be, this was a rich man by every reasonable standard, chief executive officer of one of the leading banks in Africa, Access Bank. I mean, when you travel outside Nigeria, like in Ghana, you see Access Bank, so many branches of Access Bank in the city of Accra, Ghana, and some other cities, major cities in Ghana, and some other, parts of Africa, and even in Europe. So he died as a rich man by every reasonable standard. And the question is, who is the next in the line of succession to succeed him and benefit from his estates? Remember that he died along with the wife and the first son. So who is the next in the line of succession to benefit from his estates? Is it his parents? Is it his siblings? Is it his young female children that are still alive, that have survived the parents, right? So that takes us to the position of the law. The position of the law on chain of succession is that the first person to succeed a deceased man is the wife, right? And the first person to succeed a deceased wife is the husband. So assuming Herbert died alone, leaving behind the wife would have been the first in the line of succession to take over the estate of Herbert Wigwe under the law. Assuming Herbert died along with the wife, then the next person to have succeeded them would have been the first son together with the other siblings. So the answer in law is the surviving spouse is the first in the chain of succession to succeed the estate, to succeed the deceased spouse. So where a man dies, it is a wife. Where a wife dies, it is a husband. That is the number one to inherit from that estate. The second in the line is the child or children. So the wife and the children will inherit first before any other person in the family. So this includes male children and also includes female children. So it doesn't matter under the law, whether the surviving child is female or male. Under the Nigerian law, women have right of inheritance. And therefore, even if Herbert had all female children surviving him, they will have the right of inheritance over and above any other person, because the number one is the spouse. Number two in that chain is the child or children, male and female. Number three in the chain of succession is the parents, okay? Parents of the deceased. So let me explain that. Assuming Herbert Wigwe died without a wife, Herbert Wigwe had no wife as at the time of his death and also had no children to survive him. Then the first person that will survive him in the chain of succession would be his parents, his father and mother, right? If he doesn't have a father and a mother, the next in the chain of succession would be the siblings. Remember that recently, a high court in Lagos State gave an order which is in favor of Herbert's daughter over and above the father of Herbert, Pastor Shingles. The court gave an order recognizing the children, the surviving children of Herbert Wigwe, female, over and above the parents of Herbert Wigwe. And that is the position of the law because the child comes first in the chain of succession before the parents of the deceased. It doesn't matter the argument. Oh, I sent him to school outside the country, inside the country. I spent a lot of money on him. He was my most cherished child. I gave him all the money that he used in making successful businesses and all that. All that argument will not fly under the law when it comes to succession, because the chain of succession is Surviving spouse first, followed by surviving children, before you can talk about the parents. Parents come in where this man had no wife, had no children. It is at that point that the parents would be allowed in law to survive this gentleman and take his estate. If he had no parents, the fourth in the line would be his siblings, so brother, sister, in the absence of wife and children. Assuming Herbert, God forbid, died, his entire family was in the plane, all of them died, God forbid. The first person to have inherited would have been the parents. Assuming the parents also died, the first persons would have been his siblings, his brothers and sisters, would be entitled to take over his estate. Assuming Herbert died without a wife, without a child, without a father, without a mother, without a brother, without a sister, nobody at all in his family. The persons that will inherit from his estate would be his extended relatives, right? Cousins, uncles, and all that. Extended relatives would come in as number 5 in the chain of succession. Now let's assume that Herbert Wigwe died without wife, children, father, siblings, extended relatives. The authority that will be expected to take over his estate will be the state government. So his estate will revert to the state. The state will take over the estate and use it for overriding public interest, maybe convert some to schools, convert some part of it to presidential library, or use it as government ministry and parastatal and all that. But the state will do everything to maintain the estate and keep it for posterity instead of allowing it to be taken over by every Tom and Harry and allowing it, to be dissipated by anybody just running into the estate and taking his own share. The state will be the one to take over the estate. The lesson here is that if you're a parent, understand the position of the law. Don't worry yourself so much about your children's estate. Once they have their own family, their family will come first in the chain of inheritance before you. So no matter how much you spend to train your child, as a father or as a mother, God forbid, your child dies before you, it is his family that will be expected to inherit first before you. It is only if he had no family or if the family perished along with him that you will be expected under the law to inherit from the estate. If you're not around, it is your children that will inherit. I do hope this explains the position of the law on succession, and you've learned one or two things about it. What's your comment? Do you think Pastor Shingles was right in going to court to seek to be the man in charge of the estate of his, dearly beloved Herbert Wigwe? Do you think the court was right in giving the order in favor of the daughter? What do you think generally about the law of succession under the Nigerian legal system? Drop your comment in the comment section. And if you have not yet subscribed to this channel, do well to subscribe. If you've not followed the page, do well to follow the page so that together we can continue to discuss on issues of importance and issues that affect society. Many thanks.